Day 19, Friday. I ate ice cream and a hamburger at lunch today. I tried to do what Heather taught us in Mindful Group, to focus on the sensation of food and how it tasted, but it was hard. I kept thinking about Allie and whether she's plotting her revenge, if she'll put poison into my food or get all the other girls to turn against me, if they'll hate me like Josie does. Maybe that's what's always going to happen. People will be nice to me until they realize what I'm really like, how boring and unspecial I am. Then they'll abandon me. They'll find new friends and new things to do. I kept thinking about Mom and how she refuses to stop dieting. I kept thinking about everything wrong in my life. Then I felt guilty about feeling so angry. Compared to some people, I have small problems. I have a home. I have money to buy things. I'm not abused. I still hurt though. I tried to think about how ice cream was creamy and cold, how the mint was sharp on my tongue, how hamburger was juicy and the lettuce crunched in my mouth. I didn't do a good job, even without Allie there to stare at me. All I can think about is how I shouldn't have eaten them, how my body feels different. But body changes are okay, right? It's okay for my body to find where it's meant to be, right? Ice cream and hamburgers are normal. Not freaking out about them is normal, right? Willis is normal, is eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. Eating what you want when you want it and listening to your body. It's eating too much sometimes because you really like oatmeal cookies. And it's not eating a big breakfast because you're in a hurry, but then making up for it with a bigger lunch. It's salad and french fries, and broccoli and meat sauce. It's parties and treats and being honest. But if that's normal, then the world isn't normal. Mom weighs herself all the time. Talia and Camille are always talking about their thigh gaps. Even Josie tries to find the best angles for selfies so she doesn't look fat. How can I eat normally when everyone else is doing the complete opposite? How can I eat a full meal for lunch while everyone around me is having a salad? I can't eat 5 times as much as everyone else. I just can't. This all makes me so angry. The world won't change. My family won't change. My face is hot and my breath is coming fast. The medication they put me on in here has been helping with my anxiety, but today I feel like someone lit a firecracker in my chest. It's sizzling and sparking and about to burst any second. I checked my email again. Emerson still hasn't written to apologize for acting weird. There was nothing from Josie either. All I had was an email from LL Bean from when Mom used my email to buy herself a new pair of slippers. Even my junk mail isn't for me. The more I think about Emerson, the madder I get. I'm not contagious. She doesn't need to tiptoe around the hospital like she's going to get chicken pox or break something, or break me. The more I think about Josie, the madder I get. Okay, fine, I skipped her birthday party. I lied. But she's done mean things too. She let out the class hamster in 5th grade and blamed it on me. The more I think about Mom, the madder I get. Why can't she stop dieting? I'm her daughter. Are a few pounds more important than me? The more I think about Dad, the madder I get. I'm his daughter too, not a stranger or a character in a story he's reading. When he gets to close the book on whenever he's sick of her. I'm even mad at Julia because she has something that lets her soar through the sky. She has something she's good at, something she loves. I don't have anything. Sizzle. Spark. I know the way to get rid of this anxiety before it bursts into the 4th of July celebration. I know how to feel better. I just can't do it in here. Allie isn't talking to me. She ignores everything I say in group and pretends I'm not even in the room. This is worse than how Talia used to treat me at school. At least I knew how Talia felt about me. She told me. She told everyone. With Allie, it's just silence. Cold silence. I bet she hates me. Of course she hates me. All my friends hate me eventually. I had meatloaf on my menu for dinner tonight. I've never had meatloaf before. Mom doesn't like it, so she's never made it. It's important to try new things, Willow said, to form an opinion for yourself, or even to change your opinion on things you've convinced yourself you don't like. She gave me that super annoying look she's so good at. I'm sure you don't know anything about that. Willow is so obnoxious. Here's my opinion. Meatloaf is gross. It's mushy and it tastes like wet dog food. And here's the worst part. Even though I hated it, I still had to eat all of it. I couldn't even leave a crumb. Apparently that's considered eating disorder behavior. That's total crap. I can't believe I actually said that out loud in the middle of the dining room. I never swear. And okay, I know crap isn't technically a swear, but Taylor Holt gets in trouble for saying it in class all the time. Riley, Heather's voice is a warning. Please don't speak like that in here. If you have a problem, you can address it after dinner in a check-in. Allie smirked at me from across the table. I bet she was thinking I'd back down and be a goody two-shoes. I don't want a check-in. I'm not a goody two-shoes, and I'm not going to let these people run my life. I won't let Mom and Dad run my life either. And if Emerson and Josie don't want to be my friends, whatever, I'll find better friends. I'm tired of being ignored. I'm tired of being told what to do. I'm angry and I'm alone. I'm tired of working so hard at recovery and still feeling awful all the time. Plus, it was the principle of the thing. No one should be forced to eat dog food, especially when they're trying to teach us to like food. I think you need a check-in. Heather stared me down. I stared back. I'm not a kid. I don't need a timeout. What I need is for someone to listen to how unfair this is. Sizzle, spark. I was tired of the slow burn. It was time for the bang. We can talk later. Heather looked at the stopwatch, as counselors always have during the meeting. Halfway through, girls, you have 15 minutes left until lunch. We need to talk now. I pushed my chair back and stood up, which is totally against the rules. I felt like Patrick Henry in the Revolutionary War patriot we read about in social studies, the one who shouted, "Give me liberty or give me death." I felt like a revolutionary shouting at meatloaf, but still, a revolutionary. Riley, do you need an emergency appointment with Willow? Do you need a boost? Heather looked at my almost full plate. I don't need a boost, I exclaimed. I need you to listen to me. I shouldn't have to finish my meatloaf. I don't like it. You still have to eat it. It's on your meal plan. Heather's voice sounded bored. I wonder if she'd ever have this same exact fight before. With Kara or Ivy. Those phantom snowflake names. But why? I pressed. Because that's what normal eaters do? Well, yes. Heather didn't meet my eye. I pounced upon her uncertainty like a cat and on a mouse. I told her that normal eaters don't finish meals sometimes. Once Julia opened up a yogurt that had fuzzy mold on it and smelled disgusting. She didn't eat the yogurt. She threw it away. You're not Julia, Heather said. No, I'm not. I'll never be Julia. I'll never be that naturally small. I'll never be that naturally good. Can't I have this one thing then? Can't I just skip this one meal? Nope. You still have to eat your meatloaf. I looked at the other girls. I thought they'd stand up for me and we'd all charge out of the dining room together. They kept eating, though. They stared at me with a fascinated look, like I was a circus act. See the amazing bearded woman in ring 1, the muscled lion tamer in ring 2, the enraged meatloaf girl in ring 3. See her try not to cry. But I'm full, I said. I don't want to eat. Rules are rules, Heather said. You can't trust your body's fullness cues quite yet. I'm still learning how to deal with a healthy amount of food. You have to give it time. I didn't want to give it time. I didn't want to eat wet dog food. I didn't want to be healthy. I didn't want to listen to Heather. I don't want to listen to anyone. It's my life, my choices. I'm not having the meatloaf. I raised my chin. Then you can have a boost. Heather tapped a manicured finger on the table, the ones that matched her pretty flowered skirt. I was wearing radial sweatpants with an elastic waist. I'm surprised, Riley. This isn't like you. Who is Heather to say what I'm like? Heather barely knows me. Heather doesn't know that my favorite book is The Girl Who Drank the Moon. She doesn't know that I'm the best tree climber in our whole neighborhood, or that when I was little, my favorite food was broccoli dipped in ketchup. Heather knows what I weigh, and that's all that matters to her. Maybe that's all that matters to anyone. I'm not going to have the boost. Those are the rules, Riley. Heather said it so patiently, like she was speaking from a script, like I was a name on a chart instead of Riley, the girl with fears and feelings of her own. I don't care about the rules. I don't want to have a boost. I'm waiting for a check-in now. They're making me have one because I caused trouble, because they think I need to process my feelings. Everyone just filed out on their way to the group room, peeking at me like I'm a tiger behind bars. The staff does everything they can to stop us from analyzing our bodies, like we're a science project, from making observations and testing hypotheses like we did before. If I eat this much, then this will happen. If I weigh this much, then my life will become like this. They can't stop us from seeing ourselves, though. They can't stop us from seeing each other, our insides and our outsides. Right now, my insides feel just as ugly as my outsides. It feels good to be ugly, though. It feels good to be mad, to forget about the pain of recovery and think about what everyone else is doing wrong instead. Heather shouldn't have tried to make me eat that food. Mom should listen to me. Dad should see me. I should be able to make my own decisions. Day 20, Saturday. The second I woke up, the idea popped into my head. Don't eat breakfast today. I knew it was Ed's voice, but he sounded so nice. His voice was sweet and caring, like Mom's when I don't feel good. When she rubs my back and gives me ginger ale and those crackers that only taste good when I'm sick. Not eating made you feel better yesterday. It made you forget. Remember how restricting made you feel? You can feel like that again if you listen to me. Last year, Camille had a hypnotist at her birthday party. At first, Emerson and Josie and I made fun of the whole thing. Obviously, hypnotists are fake. There's no way we let someone take control of our bodies. Then Madame Rosita picked Emerson to go on stage. Camille's parents rented a stage, of course, and a karaoke machine. I think that's why she invited us, to show off all her money. This was after the hypnotist made Laura quack like a chicken and Jarrett burp the alphabet. Madame Rosita did the classic dangling a necklace in front of Emerson's face while muttering chants thing. And all of a sudden, Emerson started singing at the top of her lungs. First, Yankee Doodle Dandy, then When the Saints Go Marching In, and John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Emerson does not sing either. She's almost as bad as me, but that day she sang. She couldn't resist. That's what Ed is like. He chants magic spells and incantations, the ones I have to obey. I'm too tired to resist anymore. I don't want to fight Ed, especially if no one's going to fight with me. So I won't. I may not recover, but at least I'll weigh less. I feel skinnier. My stomach feels lighter. I feel like I can fly. I didn't eat breakfast. I had a boost drink instead. I'd been eating so much in here that I've forgotten what it's like to be hungry. It doesn't feel as good as I remember. Brenda's been quiet all day. She didn't eat breakfast either. Well, she ate one bite of toast. Then she crossed her arms over her chest and stared at Gabby like she was doing one of these save the tree sit ins. She didn't drink the boost either, which was weird. Brenna doesn't do stuff like that. I usually don't either. I asked her if she was okay after movement class. We do gentle yoga in here once a week, which is basically stretching. It's all the exercise they let us do. Yoga is not my thing, which is why I haven't written about it yet. I'm not bendy at all. Meredith is basically silly putty in human form. I'm not okay. I shouldn't be eating anyways. Then Brenna ran out of the room. I didn't know what to do. A good friend would run after her. A good friend would hug her and tell her everything's going to be okay. I don't want to be a good friend today, though, and everything might not be okay. I don't even know what to say to make myself feel better. How can I help anyone else? It's hard to see Brenna not eat. I want Brenna to recover. I want all these girls to recover, even Allie. Maybe then she wouldn't be so mean. Maybe then I wouldn't have to avoid her like I used to avoid Talia. They deserve a life without an eating disorder. They're already perfect. I wish I could help Brenna realize that, even if she is big, she deserves food. Deep down, I know I deserve food too. I know I'm doing the wrong thing by pushing it away, but right now it feels good to be bad. Still no email from Emerson. Nothing from Josie. Mom and Dad are at Julia's gymnastic meet today where they'll sweep her up in a hug after she wins ribbons and medals and probably a trip to Disney World. Brenna's been quiet all morning. I've been drawing all morning. Aisha tried to sit with me, but I told her I wanted to be alone. I don't want to talk. I don't want to listen. I want to be sad. I try to draw myself again, but they won't let me use a mirror for reference, so I'm going on memory. I drew an oval for my face and big eyes. I gave myself a mouth with a full lower lip and non-existent upper one, then slightly rounded cheeks, shoulder-length hair, and a narrow nose. My drawing looked like a stranger. The cheeks were too puffy, so I erased them. The hair was too scraggly, so I erased it. I drew and erased until the paper ripped, until my image was as smudged and mangled as I feel. It's Saturday. When I was a kid, Dad and I used to wake up early and go to Dunkin' Donuts every Saturday morning. Dad would get a jelly donut and I'd get 10 munchkins, 5 glazed and 5 chocolate. Every week, Dad told me I could eat half of them now and half later, but he always caved and let me eat all 10. Then we went to the toy store in the center of town. We both smelled like coffee after sitting in Dunks, and we both played with a train table for hours. It was our special time. I had Saturdays, and Julia had Sundays. Now Dad's afraid of me, and I have nothing. I usually don't go back to my mom's. I usually don't go back to my room after lunch. I troop into the group room with everyone else and we sit and journal as we digest. I ate all my lunch today. Part of me wanted to skip another meal, but I was too hungry to rebel. I guess I was too hungry to be careful too because I spilled ketchup on my hoodie and I had to get a clean one from my room. I have 5 hoodies here now. Hoodies are a top priority. I thought my room would be empty, but Jean was there. She was bent over, her scrub-covered butt sticking into the air, her hand shoved underneath my mattress. "What are you doing?" I shrieked. "Do you have a warrant to search my stuff?" We learned about searches and seizures at school this year. That's when the police go into your house and look through everything. They can't do that if they have proof you've committed a crime, which Jean definitely did not. These people aren't the police either, so it's extra illegal to search my stuff. Jean dug deeper under the mattress. Aha! Aha what? I don't keep anything under my bed, not even my journal. I'm not that dumb. I used to keep it there at home, but then Julia found it in 3rd grade and read all about how I wanted to be a famous singer. She made fun of me for weeks because I sound like a frog with a sore throat when I try to sing in tune. You need a reason to search through my stuff, I said. It's the law. This isn't a reason? Jean held out her hand. There was a smushed brown blob there. I stepped close. It was a crushed brownie. I had a brownie at dinner yesterday. Why was there a brownie under my mattress? Two words floated through my head. Brownie, mattress, brownie, mattress. The ideas never connected, though, like a Venn diagram that refused to overlap. My mind couldn't make sense of what was going on until Jean told me what she thought was going on. You hid food in your room. What? Why would I hide a brownie in my bed? That's gross. That's messy. I like brownies too. Plus, it's against the rules. I tried to tell Jean that. I tried to tell Heather that when she came to see what all the yelling was about. They didn't believe me. You've been acting out all week, Riley, Heather said. It would be in your best interest to tell the truth. I am telling the truth. Willow isn't here on the weekends either, so I don't have her to stand up for me. If she'd stand up for me, she would, right? They're calling Mom and Dad for a family meeting on Monday. I wonder if this is what will finally get Dad into the hospital. Not because he wants to spend time with his daughter, but because he'll get to hear everyone talk about how much of a failure I am. What if they kick me out? What if I have to go home without finishing treatment? I should be thrilled about that, right? I should be dancing and pumping my fist in the air. I'm not, though. It feels like someone punched me in the stomach and left a crater behind. If I have to leave, I know I'll relapse. I'll stay sick forever. Yesterday I was determined to skip meals forever, but today it's like someone twirled me around to face the opposite direction. Behind me there's a darkness. Ahead of me is the sunrise. I want to see the sun come up. I want light. I want to recover. Day 21, Sunday. It's hard to focus on eating when I can't stop thinking about the brownie. How did it get there? Have I been sleeping on mushed up chocolate for the past month? How did Jean know to look under my bed? Food didn't just end up in my mattress either. Someone put the brownie there. In group last night, every single staff member working came into the group room. They lined up in front of the couches and asked if anyone had anything to confess. We all looked at one another. Except for me, I don't think anyone knew what was going on. No one confessed a thing, which means someone is telling lies. It's up to me to be a detective, and this will be an easy case to solve. There's only one person who has a motive for sneaking food into my room, the person who threatened me, the person who's actively sabotaging her own recovery, the person who would want to sabotage mine, Allie. Brenna's leaving tomorrow. That's why she's been acting so weird. She found out the other day that her insurance won't pay for any more treatment and her parents can't afford the cost on their own. When she told me how much it cost to be in here, I didn't believe her at first. It's a ton of money. I never used to think about things like health insurance. I went to the doctor every year for checkups. Julia went when she sprained an ankle. We saw the dentist twice a year and the eye doctor once a year. Mom, Aunt Rose, and Aunt Tricia all have glasses, so Mom's convinced we're going to need them, even though Julia and I have 20/20 vision every time. Mom explained it all to me once. She has to pay something called a copay, and insurance pays the rest. The rest is usually a lot of money. That's why doctors are so rich. Why Camille and her heart surgeon parents live in a huge house with a built-in pool and cabana. Because something as simple as an x-ray can cost hundreds of dollars. When Mom had surgery for her broken leg, it probably cost the insurance company tens of thousands of dollars. I didn't cost us that much, though, because the insurance companies know that people need operations, that those sorts of things are necessary. Apparently, eating disorder treatment isn't necessary. My insurance told my parents they wouldn't pay because I'm not sick enough, Laura said. Laura weighs practically nothing. My insurance isn't paying because I'm normal weight, Aisha said, even though I threw up all the time and fainted in the middle of class. Laura's and Aisha's families can pay for treatment, though. Brenna's family can't. Brenna's family is already struggling to pay the regular bills. Brenna's family would lose their house if they had to pay tens of thousands of dollars to let her stay here. Tens of thousands. What would happen if our insurance stopped covering my stay? Would Mom and Dad have to take out a loan? Would they have to decide between my treatment and Julie's gymnastics? I don't think I could stand it if my parents chose some random gymnastics competition over my life. They might. They might decide they're wasting their money if I'm still struggling so much. Dad used to ask me why I couldn't just decide to recover. Put your mind to it and try, he said. I can't control this, though. I can't just make decisions and be done with everything. I've made lots of decisions over the past few weeks. I've decided to recover over and over again, but I always get scared. I always slip back. And if I keep slipping back, then why wouldn't my parents give up on me? Why would they decide I'm worth the money? They might. They probably should. Brenna's worried about relapsing. She says she's not ready yet, that she's been thinking about the food that's in her pantry at home and what diet she should go on. I don't want to think like that, but I can't help it. It's like the thoughts are a magnet. I keep pulling back, but it's stronger than me. She was almost crying. I know I'll relapse if I leave. They say I'm better, but I'm not. The counselors say that about me too, but they don't see the mess inside my head. My insurance says I'm not sick enough to be here now. Brenna spat the words out like they were rotten. That since I haven't binged or purged in a month that I'm all better. She clenched her fist so tightly her knuckles turned white. Not being at risk for death is the only thing they care about. Not that I'm scared that the second I'll get out of here I'm going to get caught in the cycle again. Riley, what if I can't do this? Brenna kept saying it over and over, echoing the words that tumble around my head like clothes in the washing machine. What if I can't do this? I'm scared too. I don't know what's going to happen in our family meeting tomorrow. Will Willow yell at me? Will Mom and Dad bring me home and lock me in my room forever? Will Julia disown me as her big sister? All I could do was give Brenna a hug. I didn't have the energy to do more than that. I didn't finish dinner tonight. My stomach hurt too much from anger and fear and regret. I felt like I was going to barf. At least I drank the Boost. I didn't want to get in any more trouble. I didn't want Mom and Dad to be even more angry with me. The vanilla flavor was gross, though, like watered down ice cream. I should have eaten the food instead. I needed to eat the food from now on. Everyone on the staff is looking at me like I'm a criminal. I feel like Robbie Johnson in the lunchroom at school. All the lunch ladies and the lunchman stare at him the entire period because he started a food fight that one time. After that, he became known as a troublemaker, even though he's really nice and always helps me with my math homework. I don't like feeling like a troublemaker. I don't want to get kicked out. Every time I think about leaving, I get a pit in my stomach. It's the way I used to feel when I thought about eating dessert or skipping a run. The way I felt when I stepped on the scale and saw a higher number. Now I feel the emptiness at the thought of being discharged. The world is big and mean, and I'm not ready to face it yet.